A very warm good afternoon to all the wonderful people. This is Ramesh Yadav, stood before representing the VIZAG branch of SIRC, stood before you to derive a speech regarding one of the current issues, Indian economy, challenges of sustaining $1 trillion economy. Indian economy traces back its existence from the Indus Valley civilization, passes through the colonial phase, that's the arrival of East India Company, and now in the post-colonial phase. In the year 2007, our economy crossed the $1 trillion GDP mark, consequent to the high growth achieved in the second half of the last decade. One of humankind's great and exciting adventures in the past century has been the transformation of India from a colonial agrarian economy into a modern industrializing knowledge based on economy within the framework of secular and liberal democracy. No doubt, India has succeeded in feeding a population that has doubled since independence, but the living standards we have not fared satisfactory, and lost out with those Asian countries in which we are equal footing in 1950s. Say for example, China has the same per capita income and living standards like India in 1947, but today it is twice which is known for the living standards. On the counterpart, according to a recent report submitted by Global Investment Bank, by 2035, India would be the third largest economy and is expected to grow 60% of the size of US economy. When you see the flip side of the coin, just a week back, the global rating agency sent a threatened news to entire nation. The ballooning current account deficit on one side, the poverty, inflation, there are huge challenges. There are challenges to Indian economy. So, the booming economy of today, how to undergo many phases and how to overcome many challenges to sustain a $1 trillion economy and to become the world superpower. The first key challenge would be the fall of Indian rupee. In the last couple of months, Indian rupee depreciated by 15% and recorded its lifetime low. Americans understood that petrol is equally valuable as gold, so they made an agreement with Middle East nations to settle the petrol in dollars only. Now, the problem of India is the result of buying of American dollars to pay to the Middle East nations. So, if we reduce the consumption of petrol and gold, the value of dollar is going to come down. Yeah, this is true. The value to dollar is given only by petrol and gold. This is technically called as derivative trading. The value of $1 in August 2008 is 39 rupees 40 paise. And the same in August 2013 is 64. Now do you think US economy is booming? No, Indian economy is going down. Our economy is in crisis. Like many other Asian countries, Indian economy is undergoing a severe economic crunch. Our Indian industries are closing down. If we don't take proper steps to control this, we'll be in a critical situation. The next key challenge I would like to depict is the poverty. It's often said that poverty is the worst form of liberty. Even after 66 years of independence, there are still 269.3 billion people who are in dire poverty who do not access to basic health, sanitation and clean drinking water. When it comes to current account deficit, the current account deficit, which is export less import net of invisibles, for the current fiscal is expected to be $70 billion. The key reasons lies in the trade deficit, poor competitiveness, high abundant dependence on the oil, petrol and gold imports, which virtually account for more than 50% of the total imports. The dismal agricultural growth. In the recent past, the agricultural sector has registered a dismal 2.2% and has been deteriorating. Despite the fact that it provides employment opportunities to nearly 60% of the Indian workforce, this is mainly on account of poor infrastructure, declining public investment, including institutional credit, lack of minimum support prices, inadequate backward and forward integration. When it comes to public health, in a survey of 45 villages in the West Godavari district of Andhra Pradesh, India is estimated to have around 120 million people with hypertension, 40 million people with diabetes. The numbers are set to reach 215 million and 70 million in the next 2 decades. Malaria, HIV, AIDS, tuberculosis are the problems still to be overcome. Tobacco claims and closes 1 million lives in a year. The list of challenges is long. Fiscal consolidation on one side, sticky inflation, the rural-urban divide now, the urge of separate state in the Andhra Pradesh and across the country. The list is long and there is a lot to worry about, but worrying don't solve problems. There need to be an action plan. I say every challenge is an opportunity. In fact, every challenge must be converted into an opportunity if you want to sustain a $1 trillion economy and if you want to become a world superpower. I'll tell you how. Take the example of current account deficit. The current account deficit for the current fiscal is expected to be $70 billion. Now, these $70 billion have to be paid in hard currency, not in Indian rupees. Now, how do I find $70 billion? If I don't find $70 billion, I have to run down my reserves and my reserves are only $219 billion. Now, as long as the current account deficit running and ballooning at $70 billion, FDI is not an option. FDI is imperative. The question is, How do we get foreign money in? There are only three major heads under which we can raise foreign money. One is FII, foreign institutional investment, FDI, foreign direct investment, and ECB, external commercial borrowings, which is always a debt. So, the ballooning current account deficit today is a huge challenge. At the same time, it throws opportunities to reform many sectors of our economy. Take the example of fall of Indian rupee. A cool drink which just costs 60 to 70 paise to produce is sold at rupees 10 and major chunk of profits is sent abroad. Now this is a serious drain to Indian economy. We have nothing against multinationals, but to protect our own interest, I request every Indian, I say every true Indian, to use Indian products. Because with the rise in the petrol prices, if we don't use Indian products, our rupee will devalue further and our economy will go into crisis. So, subsidy is a huge challenge today. At the same time, cash transfer is an opportunity. Willy-nilly will be the third largest economy in next 20 to 25 years. So there are two paths here. One is to become the third largest economy in terms of purchasing power, or to become a low income country or a middle income country in terms of per capita. I think the option is obvious. The goal is attainable. The paths are clear. It requires unity of purpose, ability to build consensus, ability to give and take. We can fight each other, we can argue against each other, we can oppose against each other, but at the end of the day, we should do what the cardinals do in Rome. We should come out like the white smoke from the chimney. Sorry, I'm not here for the prize, I just want to say the urge of a true Indian, sorry. So, yeah, now, today, India is emerging as the biggest capital markets of the world's corporate gains. We must be able to combat the forces and elements that are trying to vitiate the socio-political culture and undermine the institutions of a democracy. We must all stand together in the fight against extremism and terrorism of all kinds. We must all join hands in search of communal harmony and national integration. India at 66 is a nation of young people. To realize their true potential, we must have to invest in the education, health of every child. We must ensure that new employment opportunities to the less privileged sections of the society. And in the past 66 years, people moved to where work was available. But in the next 66 years, work must move to where people live. And I sincerely believe it's time for us, the student community, to pay special attention to education and skill development. Each one of us must set our sights high and aim to be the best. And of course, we people who are on the path to a course which is the king of this professional and financial world, chartered accountancy, is definitely the best. In this course, many people have the funny notations, but I would like to quote an Irish philosopher who said, "No man can be grateful at the cost of his honor. No woman can be grateful at the cost of his chastity, and no nation can be grateful at the cost of its liberty." Last but not the least, I would like to wrap up by saying one point. Now it's up to you, the citizens of India. Think of India first and work to make India first. Think and work. Think before you work. Thank you.